How's it going, everybody? My name is Falling Hurts. I wanted to make another little breakdown video. I haven't done this in a while with games, but it's a game that I know dearly and is honestly one of the top two games that got me into PC gaming as a whole. Skyrim is getting yet another re-release. We'll talk about that in a second, but for right now, I want to focus on something else. As QuakeCon is happening or in the process of happening, it is very important to note that on Steam, as well as other platforms, I'll be showing Steam because that's what I have access to, is having a sale for all Bethesda games. Of course, you've got newer titles that are discounted pretty heavily at like 75% off a lot of times. You've got like Fallout and Skyrim VRs, as well as the complete Game of the Year editions for things like Doom and Fallout, things like that. All games extremely cheap, as well as expansions, add-ons. No big deal. This is not a plug. I'm not sponsored by Bethesda. I'm not big enough to be, but I love their games. I've really been enjoying Fallout 76 lately, and that takes a lot for me to say. I am actually doing a pretty big video on that soon, as well as the best game of all time. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Game of the Year Edition is currently only $4.49 US dollars. And if you can't afford that, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just kidding. No, seriously. It's a great game. You should play it. Now, of course, Skyrim is one of the most played games of all time. It's definitely one of the most ported. It has so many different versions of the game between the original consoles it released on to last gen, which is Xbox One and PS4, and also, of course, the PC and Switch editions, and I guess the Alexa, if we want to count that, is now getting another version coming to the PS5, the Xbox Series X, as well as the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So that's two versions on one console now, so it's getting a bit excessive. But anyway, back to the point at hand. On November 11th, 2021, this year, only just a couple months away, actually, which is the exact 10-year anniversary of Skyrim, we are getting an enhanced version, and I'm sure on the next-gen consoles that will mean a little more than just for the Xbox One and PS4, and I'm sure PC as well will get some improvements. What that really means, though, as far as the entire package as a whole, existing Skyrim Special Edition owners, which was the 2016 release, which was on the Xbox One and PS4, as well as PC, of course, is getting 3 pieces of Creation Club content in the form of the fishing mod, which, of course, is pretty self-explanatory. It adds a fishing mechanic to the game. I personally don't have experience with this one, but it caused a big uproar when the paid mods thing became a thing for Creation Club. Secondary was the survival mode. A lot of people who mess around with Creation Club at all might actually know this one. They did give it away for free. The final piece of content is Saints and Seducers, which of course is the Daedra, who are from the realm of Oblivion, the Shivering Isles, that, kind of Sheogorath, whatever, Elder Scrolls. It's an Elder Scrolls 4 tie-in, pretty much. If you're not a fucking lore buff, then that's what it is. And that's pretty cool. It adds a few quests in, from my understanding. I haven't personally played this one, but that'll make my experience all the more enjoyable when this does release. It is kind of touchy what the free next generation console upgrade is. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if there's going to be a graphical improvement as a whole, like how the 2016 release included things like God Rays, as well as it went from a 32-bit to a 64-bit engine, making it to where mod support was much heavier and the game was actually a lot more stable. I'm not sure if we'll be getting anything like that. I think the game's in the best state it can be as far as that's concerned. Perhaps graphical upgrades in certain areas. I really don't know how much they can push that version of the creation engine any further, but I'll be welcome to see what is added in the end. I mean, the base version of Skyrim, it's like you're only as good as the weakest link on your team. Your Skyrim modded version, in my eyes, can only be as good, or it's limited by how good your Skyrim can look by default. I mean, if it already looks better by default, then you can make it look even better. That's just my thought, maybe. In addition to the 3 free Creation Club items, the Anniversary Edition of the game also includes all of the expansions, which of course it's basically Special Edition of the game, as well as over 500 pieces of unique content from the Creation Club itself, including pre-existing and new quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, and spells, and more. So this is a really big thing, because what I can take away from this is that while it does say that some things are already on the Creation Club, and I'll actually have some of that up on the screen as I speak right now, there will also be all new stuff. So if you feel like you've been through the Creation Club, you're a Bethesda bot, and you're actually buying all this content, well, it doesn't matter. You're going to get new stuff anyway for the special edition. And that's really great, especially due to the fact that you think this game is now going to be 10 years old. I mean, it's a big anniversary, big welcoming thing. And I got to say, I hope they do something like this with Fallout 3 and New Vegas, only because those games are almost unplayable on, modern operating systems, as well as, backwards compatibility, things like that. It would just be nice to see a little touch up for those games as well. Personally, after playing like Fallout 4 and 76 with the gunplay and everything, I don't know that I can do that anymore with those games, but I really want to without modding the game to all hell, which is fine. But anyway, back to Skyrim for a second. Let's go ahead and do some closing thoughts for this. I think overall it's a good thing. I mean, it's part of the meme, if you want us to stop releasing the game, stop buying it, or whatever the hell Todd Howard says. Anyway, to close out, the game is releasing November 11th, 2021, and that is a free upgrade to all owners of Special Edition unless you are on Game Pass. Now, it is important to note that this is just the next-gen update that is free. However, you will have to buy, if you want, you are going to have the option to buy the upgrade to the Anniversary Edition from your Special Edition account, which if you're like me on PC, you got that for free for owning the original version of Skyrim on Steam. So really, this is going to be the first upgrade I've bought for Skyrim since the original version. And what that will afford you outside of the 3 pieces of content, the fishing survival mode and the Saints and Seducers, which is going to be in the free upgrade, there will also be that 500 pieces of new content, which brings up an interesting topic. People weren't sure if they should consider things like Saints and Seducers, I want to say Saints and Sinners, Saints and Seducers, as well as other, Creation Club content, which is curated by Bethesda. That's my big question. Is it canon? Where do we draw the line of canon? I mean, if it's going to be in an official version of the game now, like at, of course, an extra cost, but you're still buying the game and that's what's by default in the game. Does that mean that anything we see from Creation Club is now considered canon? Very interesting thoughts. Let me know what you think about that. That is the one takeaway I have. My name is Falling Hertz, and if this is the first video you're finding me with, go ahead and subscribe and share this video. I thought it would be nice to kind of clarify what you're actually buying. We don't have a price at this time for an upgrade or probably a full purchase. I'm sure that will go for 60 or whatever. But yeah, any new information about games coming out that I'm excited about and that I love, you can find it here on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Bye.